Welcome to the next series on my channel. I am Mar, and today we're playing Dark Cloud. And you might be asking yourself, why are we playing Dark Cloud? Didn't in his last series talk about playing other games? Yes, but the games I talked about playing aren't out yet. And it was the new Super Mario 3D collection. And so instead we're going to be playing Dark Cloud because I felt like playing it and figured I would just record it. This was easily, okay, so I shouldn't say easily one of my favorite games. I like Dark Cloud. It's actually not my favorite game in its series. I like the sequel better. But we'll play the first one first, and then we'll play Dark Cloud 2. At some point. Probably won't be what I record immediately next, but hey. But yeah, I absolutely love Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2 were some of my most played games as a kid. Certainly my most played PS2 games. It's just, it was always one of my favorite game series. I'm still bummed that Dark Cloud 3 was never a thing. These games are why I played all the other level 5 games. This is what, you know, convinced me that I like level 5 as developers. And they've come out with a lot of other good stuff over the years, but this game was what made me start looking for them as a company, which is something I don't often do. I don't usually pick games by what company made them. But anyways, now that the full intro is played, which, by the way, the music in this game is great, and that might be nostalgia talking, but I'm going to choose to believe it isn't. So, controller. I am pressing the start button. Please function. The heck? There we go. Okay, I see. They're using the middle two buttons. Okay, let's go. I actually did start a recording of this a while back. I'd started recording episodes interspersed in other things that I was doing with the plan that I would put all once it was all finished. And then I got a new mic like 3 episodes in to that plan. And I was like, oh man, I don't want to have to I don't want to have that jarring audio quality switch in another series, especially one that I release later, so I'll just trash these 3 episodes. Anyway, so yeah, we got a mystery in a book. World with 2 moons and some dazzling adventures. But is it a true story? Do you believe it? Believe it. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna go on a magical, magnificent journey. It's gonna be great. We're gonna keep all default names instead of running around with Mar. Although that's usually what I did when playing this game. Because this was back, like, it's really interesting. As I got older, I started using default names way more. But when I was younger, I would always put my own name in. I would always put some name of my own creation in. Anyway, so yeah, we got some creepy ritual people sitting in front of a creepy ritual urn, and you know, yeah, there's some stuff going on. We're definitely going for the creepy ritual vibe. Gathered quite a few of them. Dancers with the right qualifications. What are the qualifications for this ritual, though? Is it that they're witches or humans, or seriously, what's the qualifications here? Gotta get all that money. Also, hey, look, it's the guy who's, not the hero. Oh boy, we get to enjoy a ceremony. I love enjoying ceremonies. I don't actually enjoy this ceremony though, so that's unfortunate, you know? One of these days, I'll play Ephemeral Fantasia, which has my favorite feature that I think pretty much every game should have for sequences like this, which is that you can fast forward every scene in the game. Ephemeral Fantasia has this because it's a time loop kind of game where you're replaying the same week over and over, and so you would need to be able to fast forward scenes, or you would hate the game. Because there are ritual dances like this in it, and like the first time you see one of these, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool and cinematic, and then the second time you're like, okay, we can go now. Like, we're done here. Apparently this guy's name is Flag. Yeah, apparently this urn has some legendary power if you break the seal, which, I mean, it's releasing purple, evil-looking smoke, and it requires a blood ritual to open, so, you know. Releasing something called the Genie of Darkness, there's no way that would possibly go wrong, right? Like, clearly releasing the Genie of Darkness is the thing to do. I think the dancers with the right qualifications is implying dancers who are willing to do a dance that will probably end the world, you know? Yeah. Willing to do this dance and with the knowledge that the world's probably going to end after you do it. You know, it's hard to find that many people who want to watch the world burn that much, you know? A lot of people would be okay with the world ending, but to actively cause it is a whole nother thing. It's a lot scarier. It takes a lot more determination and desire for the world to end. He's like, it looks a little tubby. I just love the Dark Genie as a thing. It's hilarious. This is a hilarious villain. Like, as evil villains go, I think the Dark Genie is a funny one. Oh boy. Look, Dark Genie, if you were that hungry, you would have realized it sooner. I'm thinking maybe the Dark Genie doesn't need to eat, but just wants to, you know? Wouldn't really be that surprising if the Genie of Darkness didn't need to eat, but, you know. Gluttony's supposed to be a sin, right? Poor dude got swallowed whole. And now he's thinking that maybe he made a mistake. Like, you think? Like, and now we've seen transition to something that is not all jarring. Promise. Oh god. That's the worst run animation of this entire game. And it's like right there at the front. I think what it is something about the speed that she's moving and the animation didn't jive to my brain. Anyway, yeah, we gotta go. Cone's girlfriend? Question mark? Just left him behind. So unfortunate. Also, I have no idea if I'm saying his name correctly. I'm just assuming it's Cone. you know? That's my guess as to how to pronounce that valve combination. Anyway. I remember this was back in the era when, like, pretty much every game had a long scene at the beginning. Unless it was, like, even in this era, even like this would be around when Super Mario Sunshine came out. And even a Mario game had a long scene at the beginning. It's something that a lot of games have actually gone away from. Instead of having a long scene at the beginning, they'll have a short one and just give you control. And, you know, intersperse this long scene throughout some gameplay. And some games do that well, some don't. I don't mind a long scene at the beginning so long as it's an interesting scene. If it manages to make me care about what's going on, then we're good. It's all fine. If it doesn't, well, that's a problem. Also, this episode's going to be double length because of this long scene at the beginning, because I don't want to stop before even playing the game, you know? I don't actually know if it'll be double length. It'll be longer than most episodes in this will be. For that reason. Anyway, yeah, so the Dark Genie does a fun little dance while it just destroys the world, you know? Also, we're about to be told something about how this is, about what's actually happening here in a few minutes. I just want you to remember how destroyed everything looks. You know? Just keep that in mind. Like this whole thing falling over. Because in a minute we're going to be told that all of this was protected somehow. But like, that looks pretty destroyed to me. Anyway, so hey, now we are in some black void, you know? The place you usually wake up in the afterlife. I mean, what? Can you hear me? Open your eyes. Wake up. Hey. This song always gave me such Earthbound vibes. And the NT the Nuits, all of Nature Spirits, which by the way, Earthbound will at some point be played on this channel. I don't know when, but it'll happen. At some point I'll feel like doing a playthrough of Earthbound and I'll just record it. I replay it fairly frequently. That's the SNES game I've probably played the most. Anyway, something bad has happened. Men blinded by greed have revived the Dark Genie. And he's terribly powerful. Its power is so great that it could destroy the entire world. Imagine that, like, your town got destroyed by giant explosions one day, and then you wake up and this guy's like, the whole world is endangered. You're just like, why are you telling me this? What do you want me to do about it? It's being destroyed right before your eyes. Not just your village. In a flash, many villages and towns were destroyed. In one night, half of your world was annihilated. Flashback to 3 seconds ago. Must be the men from the east that performed the resurrection ceremony. Probably think to use its black demon power for war without realizing how frightening it is. It is darkness, pure darkness itself. Long ago, this so-called Dark Genie almost destroyed the entire world. Its malevolence is that great. The bad thing is, it's the same type of magical power as us, spirits. Unfortunately, we aren't powerful enough to destroy it. I see that you have a strong will that could withstand the evil power. Does he, though? Look at that face. Also a clear, kind heart. You might be able to fight against the darkness it generates. I decided to stake our fate on you. Let me bless you with power. There, surprised? That's called Atlamelia. It's a stone with a magical power. It doesn't look that way, boy. I'll explain now. Might get too bright for your eyes for a moment. Dude's like, I didn't want a gem in my hand. Why'd you do this, old man? Do you know where this is? This is no simple empty lot. This was your village. Do not lose heart. As long as you have that stone, you can return it to its original form. Just before the village was destroyed by that genie, I saved billions of people by stealing from a sphere called Atla, and conjured up some really good illusion magic to make it look like it was all destroyed. We're scattered around by tremendous magic power. They're probably blown to different places around the world. Probably thinks everything is destroyed. We must restore the world before it realizes what happened. Absorb that which I sealed in Atla, using that Atlamelia, and bring them back. Then you'll be able to restore the world to its original form. You may even be able to create an even better world than before. Oh boy. Just what everyone wanted to do, make a better world. You don't seem to understand anything I'm saying. Oh well, I'll give you another lesson when you acquire some Atla. So long. Anyway, so, yeah. Can you hear them? You should be able to hear them. Voices of the wind, voices of the trees, voices of the animals. Is that what that song is? I dig it. And the voices of the earth. They are all calling for your help. So you'll probably meet and say goodbye to many people. And talking to these people, you receive clues to defeating the darkness. Look for them. That's when your adventure will begin. First, go to the village chief's house. He'll show you where to go next. Yeah, the village chief, the only person who got to not be blasted away. Okay. Let's go. Oh, I forgot how floaty movement is in this. Oh gosh, it's gonna take a second to get used to. Part of it's that the PS4 controller, because I'm playing this on, I'm playing it, the emulated version on a PS4. You know, it was one of the PlayStation classics you could buy. And it was easier to record this way. But anyway, I'm digressing. The sticks on a PS4 controller feel different. It seems like we're the only ones in the village that survived. We never dreamt this happened. One night and our village is gone. Can you believe this, Tone? I feel so helpless. I, the mayor of the village, can't do anything about it. What am I supposed to do now? Mitsupuku? Or don't. That's probably a bad idea. Think of it. The only thing we can do is get help from the guardian of our Northern village, Gran. Gran will not abandon us. He'll help us, for sure. My favorite ask Tone, go to the Divine Beast Cave and tell Dran what happened. Divine Beast Cave is the cave outside towards your right-hand side. You've probably seen it before. I may be imagining this, but I sense something's changed about the cave. Be careful. This is the cave key. Cool. Good things you might need in your bag for you. Don't get carried away. If you get in trouble in there, come back here. I'll get you more supplies. Good luck. Let's see. I forget. Can you get stuff from him immediately? Or is that those appear later? Looks like those appear later. Only thing you can get right now is this. We'll use for stuff later. Yeah. What I was looking around for is as you clear the dungeon, chests will appear around town. As you beat levels in the dungeon and rebuild the town, chests will appear. Have to use the cave key. In we go. And from what other townspeople will say is you get them back, Tone just kind of leaves that unlocked because they all talk about going in, but if they didn't have a key, they wouldn't be able to. Anyway, so the first floor, onward we go. I'll do the first floor and then that'll be the end of the episode. For real this time, Tone. From here on, you will be put to the true test. First, conquer this wretched Divine Beast Cave and find Dran's lair. That's your first goal. Since you're a beginner, I'll give you a lesson on how to fight in the dungeon. First, to advance to the next floor in a dungeon, acquire a gate key for the door leading to the next floor. Each dungeon has a different gate key. For the Divine Beast Cave, Dran's Crest will be the gate key. Gate key is almost always carried by a monster in the dungeon. You must defeat the monsters to acquire the gate key. You can't tell which one has the key, you just have to defeat them all. Next, I'll tell you about how to return to ground level rather than advancing to the floor below. To return to ground level, mind connect with me. In other words, speak with your mind. When we do this, I'll transport your body to the ground level, just like leave dungeon from the main menu. If there are monsters left on the floor, the mind connect won't work. It will be blocked by their evil energies. Use the item escape powder to get out on your own. Storm Village Chief has lots of it, so be sure to get it before you go. You can also mind connect with me when you go through the gate to the next floor of a dungeon. When you re-enter the dungeon, you can start the next new level, so you don't have to worry about losing progress. Anyway, so yeah, weapons break. To prevent weapons from breaking, use the item repair powder. The longer you use a weapon by repairing, the more magic absorbs from monsters, and thus becomes stronger. So that when a weapon reaches its full strength, it can change to a more powerful form. Keep that in mind. If I cast a special spell on the dagger you have on you, so it will never disappear. But all new weapons you will get during the quest will disappear once they break. Be careful. Don't waste your hard work by letting a weapon break and disappear. Finally, the important stuff. The Sphere Atla, where I protected and sealed the fragments of the world. Seeing an Atla, don't hesitate to touch it. You can absorb the contents of an Atla into Atlamelia by touching it. During the service, you'll be able to begin reassembling these fragments of the world. This lesson ran a little long. That's it for the lecture today. Now, Tone, show me your true ability on this quest. Yeah, this game's a little tutorial heavy at the beginning, but like a lot of the things, like it's actually a really interesting thing to see over the years that games started doing was they had to worry less about how to put this. They didn't have to worry as much about. Why don't you press R1 to walk on? That's not the fun of this game. Okay, oh, got some bread. Cool. Bread's a healing item, by the way. But yeah, so like a lot of... It's really interesting to see how tutorials evolve over time. Not for design reasons, but for expectation reasons. Like for example, a lot of things games no longer go out of their way to tell you, because if you play like at least a few games, you'll realize them anyway. Like, this game goes out of its way to explain that weapons can be damaged and repaired. But most games nowadays won't even explain that to you. They'll just assume you can figure that out when you see that your weapon has a health bar. And part of that's not just, you know, assuming people can figure things out. Part of it's also, if you've played a lot of games, you've played a game where your weapon has durability. Right, eat that, your face. Yeah, give me that money. Give me them cash monies. Ooh, got more repair powder. This will be a long journey down here then if I keep getting repair powder. So, what the mayor does is he gives you one of each item that is important to your survival. So he gives you a bread, a water, and a repair powder, and an escape powder. And an antidote. But he only gives you one of each, so if you use it, you have to go back and get more from him. And he'll always supply you with one of each until there's an actual shop to buy things. And then he stops supplying you, and he's like, go buy your stuff, nerd. Listen, I'm no charity. I don't care if you're saving the world. I have to repair my weapon soon. Okay, not a map. Oh boy. Open another one of these. And this time we got Macho, our first person we can save. Isn't that nice? Isn't it so nice to be able to save people? Something, I don't know. I'm contractually obligated to be a nice person, so And once again, that contract is to me. Contractually obligated to myself. Now, you might say that doesn't make sense, and well, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I was gonna try and, you know, hold off to the last second before repairing my weapon, but kind of a horror thing. I didn't. Yeah, see right there where I accidentally hit a second weapon or second enemy. Something like that could just kill your weapon if it's low on HP. Also, upgrade the dagger. Oh boy. Now +1. Yeah, I didn't have anything to customize it to. You really just want to get the dagger up to +5 as soon as possible, and then hope that you get another weapon. That's what you really want to happen here. Okay, give me a treasure chest. I would like a wind gem, thank you. But yeah, because what you'll do is, once a weapon is +5, you can, you get this tutorial in a couple of floors. Once a weapon is +5, you can break it down into more weapons, or you can break it down into a synth sphere that allows you to socket it into another weapon that can then absorb its stats. Also, I'm gonna have to go back above ground because I haven't found any water, and that's just an unfortunate reason to have to use. Okay, this, drink water, over here, get this, and I actually know what's in this chest, but I'm gonna open it just for funsies. That's the magic crystal. You can't see what the magic crystal does here, but what it does is it fills out your mini map with all the little dots, so you can see where all the enemies and chests in Atla are at any range, rather than only being able to see the ones in the same room as you. Which means if there is a dead end that doesn't have anything you care about, you don't have to go down. But alas, in this case, it didn't matter because I got unlucky. The magical crystal was the last chest. Which will happen sometimes, you know? Sometimes you just don't pick the direction with the magical crystal. Anyway, so that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys after this scene. Anyway, see you guys next time.